picking the right crypto coin or project is not what's going to make you a winner in this space. What do I mean by that? Here are 3 things I want to show you guys that actually have to do with yourself, that's going to determine which tactics and strategies actually work for the long haul. All right, so this Whiteboard Wednesdays, I want to get right into this, okay? And just right before we start, a little background for me here is I actually thought when I entered this space, just like everybody else, that if I picked the right coin, that 10x is 100x or 150x, whatever it is, the x is the return, that's what was going to make me a winner. So you pick multiple people, whether they're from YouTube, Twitter, or both, or multiple platforms, and you see either what the masses are saying, so what's the group of experts, what are they saying, or I pick a varying amount and I see the majority, right? Are they saying mostly the same things, or some saying different things, and kind of go based off of that? And so it's a pick 'em, choose 'em kind of situation, kind of like playing the lottery, right? You don't know anything in the space. You want to go after what experts are saying, so you just kind of follow what people are saying, and there's nothing behind it. But let's dive into 3 things that you need to do before even deciding to pick which project. And this is what's really going to dictate a winner out of you or not. Okay, so number 1 here, and you guys are going to love my handwriting, especially with a mouse, is something called codependency. Oh yeah, that's great. Codependency. What does that mean? That means how much does what you do rely on opinions of others? So like I said, even when I started, you feel comfortable when there's someone with 500,000 subscribers or whatever the metric is to make them an expert, that I'm going to follow what they do, or I'm going to follow what they say. Maybe they don't even do that. Who knows, right? Or is it your circle of friends? What are we all saying we need to do? If that's how you work, this is going to be a very difficult space for you, because most people in this space recommend things when they're hot. They're not going to tell you on the flip side of, that doesn't drive views, that doesn't drive engagement, right? So if Dogecoin is pumping, everyone's going to be talking about Dogecoin as the next biggest thing to jump on. So you don't know anything, so that's what you're going to pick, all right? You need to have as minimal of codependency as possible. This is about yourself. You need to be able to do work for yourself, look and research, find things. And you may be wrong, but you're going to learn more from that thinking by yourself or for yourself than having followed the crowd and the crowd was wrong on the pick. You know what's even worse? If the crowd was right on the pick, because you assume that the next pick that everybody makes is going to be right. So you dump even more money into that pick. So you're not really learning anything. You're just going based off of what other people are saying. Been there, done that. It is not a winning strategy. It is not something that's going to carry you forward long term in any investing. But in the crypto space, everything is like on steroids. It's a performance enhancing drug that is being taken by the crypto space. And so everything is magnified. Everything is much more volatile. So the more you rely on others to make your decisions, your actions, and your picks, the more issues you're going to have and the more losses you're going to have. That's just straight. Okay. So be able to do your own research, come to your own conclusions, make your own decisions, and follow through. So that level of solo dependency or individual independency, betting on yourself, that's what's required. So that's number 1. All right. Let's see what handy my handwriting can do for you guys in the next one here. So number 2 is risk tolerance. Okay? Now, you might be someone who says, look, I just want to be super safe. If I lose some, I want to minimize how much I lose. Or you might be on the other spectrum saying, look, I am all in on this. I have a good feel of whatever I read or whatever research I did. And it's either I make it or I bust, right? It's either 0 or 100, whatever the case is. And I'm happy with that or comfortable with that. You need to know that. And you need to know that about yourself. Again, we go back to codependency. If you are going by what everybody else says, you don't assess your own risk tolerance. You just think that because the group is in, it makes you feel safe, and so you're in. You don't even know. You haven't even thought about anything outside of the group may be wrong. Like, you don't even think about that. So you need to know what your own tolerance is. And it sounds very easy, but most of us, including myself, you don't realize the tolerance until you're put in a position where you lost it. So during the bull run or during a great period, everything seems like it's just going to go up and up and up, and you don't think of risk tolerance. Right now, things are at lows. So even if you were buying things now, how much would they crash more? They could, but they don't really go lower that much. But during those moments of volatility, if you're in something that you didn't really care for, or you didn't do the work for, and you lost it all, how would you feel? Even if you did the research and it went to zero, how would you feel? That's something you need to think about before getting into any position or buying any asset. Is what if this does not work the way that I think it's going to work? We all like to think about the best case scenario. We need to start thinking about the other end of the spectrum. That doesn't mean we're pessimistic. That doesn't mean we're always going to think of the negative in terms of this is going to happen, but we need to be prepared not only for the upside, but also the downside. So you need to know what your risk tolerance is. That's a very big point, and that's something that really hurts. And unfortunately, we usually learn only after it hurts. All right, so I definitely wanted to share those two things with you guys. And last but not least here is number 3. All right, and I'm going to call this post-loss behavior. Now, I'm from Canada, so there's going to be a U in that behavior. All right. What does that mean? Well, we talked about risk tolerance. Talked about assessing the fact that what happens if this doesn't go my way? Well, post-loss behavior means what do you do when that happens to you? And I say when, because I am 99.999% sure anyone who's invested in anything for any period of time has suffered at least one complete loss to zero. Meaning they put in $10,000, they lost all of it. Whatever the case may be, however that position did, was it a scam? Was it not? Did the founders leave? Whatever it is, it went to zero. What do you do after that? Do you say, you know what, this investing thing, it's not for me, and you leave the game? You might even say, hey, look, crypto investing is not for me. Or cryptos are a scam. Look, I went to zero in this position. I'm out. Right? Or do you say, hey, look, that's on me. I could have done better work. I could have done better due diligence. I could have done better research. You know, I could have waited a little bit longer before getting into the position. Or maybe if I got in, I could have taken my time building my position. Right? So all these things, are you accountable for what happened after the loss? Do you actually look and see what you could have changed? Sometimes things just go wrong. You could have done all the work. And it still was a big loss. So now, does that mean you're out of the game? Does that mean you're like, no, okay, I understand. This is part of the process and I'm in it. And next time I'll try and minimize whatever I can, but I'm still here. I'm still in it for the long haul. And that's the main point is, you know, as cliche as it sounds, it's like, you know, it's not getting knocked down. It's not how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times you get up after being knocked down. Well, that's the post-loss behavior. What did you learn from that situation? It's not a loss. It's a learning experience. What did you get from it? And then how do you apply that moving forward? All right. So look, we're all going to get punched in the face. And that's another great quote, right? Is Mike Tyson's, that everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Well, even if you have the greatest plan in investing, a lot of it is tied in with emotion. And so you don't even realize that. And then the markets happen or something happens and you get, you know, figuratively punched in the face. And then you start to rethink everything. Do I even want to be in this game? Do I want to be an investor? Do I want to just kind of go back and, you know, set it and forget it and give my money to somebody else as a financial advisor for them to deal with it? Like, you've got to understand the loss part of it. And that's why risk tolerance is such a big a missing component for a lot of us who enter as investors for ourselves. No one's handling for us, right? Nobody teaches you how to assess your risk, and then nobody teaches you how to deal with the loss when it didn't go the way you thought it would. So codependency, or lack thereof codependency, risk tolerance, and post-loss behavior. These three things are really what's going to set you up for success and wins in crypto investing. For sure. Because once you tie a tactic or a strategy, when you have these three things in place, that's when the probability of you winning is going to be higher over the long haul. Straight up. Okay, so it's not the next Dogecoin or the meme coin. It's not playing this, news event. None of that stuff. Okay, those are side pieces. And I'll tell you this: most people who say that they've made money off of those types of things have probably lost way more than what they've made. But as we are humans, human natures, we tend to forget purposefully about the losses and only highlight the wins. And so if someone says, hey, I made $10,000 on this meme coin, they're either not going to remember or they're not going to tell you that they actually lost overall $50,000 and using strategies like that, because they didn't have these three things covered. So again, how much are you reliant on other people for your information in your decision making? Codependency. What's your risk tolerance? Do you know what that tolerance is? And then number 3 is post-loss behavior. How do you act when you get punched in the mouth? Do you get back up? Do you get in the game? Do you reassess what you've been doing? Are you accountable? These 3 things, they're going to make all the difference in the world. So figure these out, and then the money's there for the taking. The success is there for the taking, and we're in it for the long haul. That's it. Guys, I'll see you in the next video.